actually going to move from
Everyone say cheese. Noah, cheese. Cheese. I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Because their parents are in Bali, so I will send it. Do you want me to bring Chevy out? You still can see the India.
I don't like sitting on the road. Why you always do?
Because the boys came to see. All right.
And then I'll do this one. Okay. For your parents, ready? Cheese. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Because I really wanted to eat you myself. Okay?
So inappropriate.
Hey everybody, welcome to Busy Birds Open Mic Night 94. You going live, Kev? So I'm Les, most of you will know me, I'm the publications manager here. Kev on the camera there is owner, head honcho. Oscar, who's just sitting by Kev, he's the morale manager. With Oscar, just be mindful. It's okay to feed him, but just make sure you don't leave glasses of alcohol on the floor because he will drink out of them. He does have a history. So just be mindful of him. Tonight we're going to have a limit of 4 minutes. At 3 minutes 30 you'll hear a ding from Bo. And then at 4 minutes you'll hear a double ding. So when I hear the double ding, it's the end of your time, but don't feel you have to stop right there in mid-word, mid-sentence, whatever. Feel free to finish the sentence, the paragraph. Just please don't feel like I've got 9 more pages. I'll finish those also. Has anyone not put their name down on the running sheet? Nope. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm not going to read the people in the order that they've put down their names. So we do mix it up just so we don't get clusters of poetry or clusters of prose or whatever the case. And tonight I'm going to start with one of our Busy Bird authors, Sandra, who has a poem, Boundaries Without Drama. Everyone please welcome Sandra. Sorry, don't surprise me. You're welcome.
Thank you. I've created a workshop around this thing about drama, and last week I just thought I'd write a poem that sort of encapsulates the idea of what I'm sharing. So there'll also be a women's circle at the local dojo in Eltham, so I'll let Kevin, Les know about that. Okay, so boundaries without drama. Victim, villain, hero. Which one am I today? Daughter needs help waking. Getting to school on time, it's an issue. If I step in to help, am I the hero? If this results in yelling, am I now the villain? Or is she the villain because she's not helping herself? Am I a victim, helpless, unable to respond to my daughter's needs? Welcome to the drama triangle. Or what I like to call the drama trap. Drama enslaves us with power struggles. Drama clutters our emotions and requires understanding for us to stand under each other. If you would like to exit the emotional clutter of drama, you may choose an alternative strategy. To comprehend each other is to gain meaning from each other, to perceive each other, to take in each other's views, to grasp each other's needs. Boundaries. What do you think of yourself? Can anyone change what you think of yourself? Can anyone respond for you in any given situation? Anyone who tries becomes a villain or a hero, good or bad, right or wrong. Both heroes and villains respond in a way that overpowers others. What if we all have the ability to respond? Your ability to respond is the key. Your ability to respond is your ability to be responsible for how you feel and how you choose to be. Allow others to be responsible for how they feel and how they choose to be. If you're feeling any resistance to this concept, that's great. It means energy is moving. Emotion, energy in motion. Sit with this word responsible. I am, you are, we are. Response-able. Once you choose to be responsible, congratulate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. You are now free from the drama triangle. You are now free to choose how you use your energy and explore how to be a contribution to yourself and to others without drama. Let's put this in action and go back to getting to school on time. I now comprehend I am responsible for my daughter's well-being. Time is something she is learning. I am guiding her time management skills. I no longer choose to be the hero or the villain or the victim. I now choose to use my energy in a way that contributes to her. I allow her space to contribute to herself. We set goals and boundaries together. I ask, how can you contribute to yourself? And how can I contribute to you? Let's discover new ways to get to school on time. It's time to wake up from the drama triangle or the drama trap and set our emotional capacity free, so as we can be a contribution to each other in new and wonderful ways. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Sandra is the author of Creating Mindful Moments and 2 children's books, Each Moment and Weedy Thoughts, which are about, just put a hand up, would you like to go to the bathroom? 3. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, I didn't pick that up. Sorry. And 3 books, and you're doing another one now. So if anyone's ever written a book, even if it's not with us, why not? But when you come up, feel free to shout it out. As an artist, you should get your work out there, so hustle as much as you can. Next is another Busy Bird author, Diane Pasela. You ready?
Go second.
Would you like me to call you later?
Oh no, it's all right. It's good.
Okay, I wasn't going to do it. Everyone please welcome Diane.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Okay, my name's Diane Pasela. I recently participated in an anthology, Journey to Me, a Discovery of Self. Okay, it's the 3rd book in the We Inspire Now series that was created by Antoinette Pellegrini. She's overseas at the moment, so she's not here, but I'll just read a little bit out of my chapter, and my chapter is titled Wings of Wonder, My Lessons of Journey. So the revelation was like a torch in the midst of the night, a guiding light to elation, and the result, a heightened sense of empowerment, a conviction that this is what self-respect feels like, a rite of path to be the best version of yourself. I'll just go towards the end, otherwise it'll be too long. Okay, so my chapter was broken up into 3 scenes, okay, and yeah, so it's a little different to the other chapters in the book, but I was quite proud of my contribution. So what it is, I've come out of a dream, okay, so I was on a plane and I was awakened by the air hostess, and she said, "Excuse me ma'am, apple and almond cake with coffee?" Bewildered, blinking, I direct my focus to a smiling, kind face leaning towards me. "You were sleeping so soundly and missed lunch. We touched down in Melbourne in 30 minutes. Smiling, stretching and nodding in return, I'm feeling invigorated for the next part of my journey. The power of the subconscious mind is one to embrace. Its internal dialogue and depths of the journey is a masterpiece of ingenuity at play. With steely intensity, it is capable of colliding with the conscious world like a jolt of enlightenment, offering its manifest of aura and insights." I recall in August 2020, in the middle of Melbourne's Stage 4 lockdown, Christine Courtney, widow of renowned author Bryce Courtney, who passed away in 2012, posted a question to followers on social media. "Do you have a favourite quote from Bryce? I believe some of the phrases he penned are destined to stay with us forever. The power of one is above all things, the power to believe in yourself, a quote I have recited every morning walk just when I reach the top of the highest hill. It never loses its magic. It has been 20 years now. I was at a crossroad at that time. A workmate handed me his copy of the book to read. I have never looked back. Diane, this is extraordinary, and I just ache to think how much Bryce would have loved to read this too. Thank you so much, and may the inspiration continue to light your way." And Christine signed off on that. I was filled with warm gratitude and a heightened sense of resolution upon receiving that feedback. Moments of impact in life are opportunities to acknowledge fragility, healing, triumph and enlightenment. The wisdom gained is empowering. The aroma hits my nostrils. Black coffee, warm apple and roasted almonds. I take a bite, delicious. Anticipation, meeting and expectation, ordinary becoming extraordinary. If we let it, the possibilities are endless. And that's it. Thank you. And also, I have three books, children's books that I'm about to, well, just about ready to go to print.
Yep.
Children's books. So I'm really so happy to be part of this journey through Busy Bird. I remember when Blaze read the stories. I think it was 2018, perhaps the start of 2019. And when she read them, she said, you know, there's potential here. You need to work at them. You know, making them relatable to, you know, the age group that you're targeting. And I always took that away and thought one day I'm going to make that a dream, and we're just on the verge of making that happen. I'm just so excited about it, very nervous too because I want everything to be right. And Busy Bird, Kev and Les have just been so fantastic to work with. They've been very patient with me because I'm very fussy, and but it's been wonderful and I'm so happy and I can't wait. Okay, thanks everybody.
Thanks, Diane. How do we live up to that? One of the things that's really important to Kev and myself, and obviously to Blaze, because you know it was her vision that drove the place, is that the author is always happy with the product at the end. We don't want to ever give an author a book and they're unhappy with it when they hold it up. So whatever it takes, we want to make sure that the author is 100% happy with the journey, and they should be. It should be a gratifying, rewarding experience, because writing is intensely personal. Whatever you're writing and getting the story out there is sharing part of yourself with everyone. And in doing that, it should be as rewarding a journey as possible. Another person who's recently done books with us is Ruja. She wrote an anthology of poetry called Petals, or released her anthology of poetry called Petals, and then released it in also Croatian. And there's also a Turkish version coming up, isn't there? Oh, see, I know. Well, anyway, so she's just come back from travelling all around the world. She brought us chocolate, so just, you know, there's a hint for anyone else who visits us. Everyone please welcome Ruja.
Hi, it's very nice to be back. I have missed you. Les does not believe me, but then you never know where you stand with him. I'll read a little poem from my book first, because then I'll follow it with something that I came across a couple of days ago, and I don't know that I've read poem any better than that. So this is mine, and I wrote it a few years ago. My best friend came from Croatia, from Dubrovnik. Her daughter wanted to get married there, and she came back and she said to me, and she's a trained nurse. She was showering and she was drying herself, and she noticed a little bump. Anyway, to cut the story short, she had a stage 4 breast cancer, and she was devastated. She was very disappointed with herself for not detecting it earlier. So I went home, and of course, after a lot of crying, I wrote this little one for her. And it's titled, Where? You may ask, where has my sunshine gone? But I don't know. Suddenly it left you, away it has flown. You can't hear the rustle of the sea. You can't see the beauty of the tree. You can't hear birds singing. There are only muffled bells ringing. You know your way, perhaps rocky, grey and hard. Do not fear. The power of mighty love will always be near. One day, my dear, you will send the rain away. You will send the clouds away. Then a beautiful blue sky and your lost sunshine will reappear. That's it. So I saw this poem actually on Facebook, and it was in Croatian, and I was absolutely overwhelmed. Then I thought I wanted to read it here for you, so I searched and found a lovely translation in English. It's written by a Russian poet, a playwright who turned war correspondent called Konstantin Simonov, and in the World War II, he was conscripted, of course, and he wanted to fight for his country. So he left his love behind, as many men did, and wrote this poem in 1941. It became and still is one of the best poems of all times. It's called Wait for Me. Wait for me and I'll be back. Wait till all your might, with all your might. Wait when dreary yellow rains tell you nothing is right. Wait when snow is falling fast. Wait when summer is hot. When no one waits for other men and all the past's forgot. Wait when those that wait for you with you are bored and tired and glum. And when it seems from far away no letters ever come. Wait for me and I'll come back. Wait in patience yet. When they tell you off by heart that you should forget. And when my mother and my son give up on me at last, and friends sit sadly around the fire and talk about the past, and drink a bitter glass of wine in memory of me. Wait, no rush to drink with them, tell them to wait and see. Wait for me and I'll come back, escaping every fate. Just a lot of luck, they'll say, those that didn't wait. They will never understand how amidst the strife, by your waiting for me, dear, you had saved my life. Only you and I will know how you got me through. Simply, you knew how to wait. No one else but you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruja. Someone else who regularly comes to Open Mic Night is Richard Trembar, the author of the anthology In the Company of Strangers, and If We Should Ever Meet Again. Richard had a unfortunate fall down some stairs, broke some ribs, broke his coccyx, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. It's close enough. And did some other damage. So from Busybird Publishing to Richard, if you're watching, all the best. No one ever on the say it all together. All the best, Richard. All the best, Richard. Thank you, everyone. So hopefully, Richard, will see you again next month. Next, I'd like to invite Rhiannon. Are you still continuing your story?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So everyone, please welcome Rhiannon.
I'm reading Phoenix Country. It's a story about a woman and her mobility assistance dog trying to travel across country, racing against some kind of unknown apocalypse. Last time she stopped for fuel and a man with a gun tried to take her car, but she got the gun away from him. So I'll pick it back up from there. She fits the stock against her shoulder, points the barrel at the man's center of mass. Back, she says. He steps back and to the side, trying to put her car between them. No, get back. He retreats a dozen paces, then stops and drops his hands. She almost fires a warning shot, but she hasn't inspected the shotgun. It might only fire twice before needing to be reloaded. Taking one hand off the gun, but keeping both eyes on the man, she reaches blindly for the door handle and frees Yowie. He's still barking, so she whistles in quiet and issues a sharp command. Yowie, up. Yowie shoves underneath her free arm and plants himself, supporting her while she hauls herself awkwardly back upright. She has to lean against her car to stand. Her bad leg won't support her. She also has to keep the gun steady. The man is poised to act on any opening. Cane, she commands, and Yowie fetches her cane and offers it to her, tail wagging. She tosses it through the open driver's door. Keys, she says next. This takes longer. Yowie has to sniff around to find them, but eventually he's pushing his wet nose into her hand and she has her keys. Good boy, now back in the car. He goes dutifully, leaving her alone with the man and the impossible task of keeping the gun steady while getting back into the driver's seat. That's when he moves, ignoring the gun and bolting straight for her. She screams and hurls herself sideways into her car. She shuts the door, tosses the gun aside, and hits the central lock just as he grabs the handle. Desperate, he strikes the window over and over. She frantically fumbles the keys into the ignition while cracks spiderweb through the glass next to her head. The engine roars to life. She swerves madly back into the road and away. She doesn't look back. She stares ahead and drives at full speed until her eyes flood with tears and she can't see the road anymore. Then she pulls over, kills the engine, and reaches for Yowie, releasing him from his harness and transforming him from a trained medical professional back into her dog. He immediately squirms into her lap, ignoring the obstacle of the steering wheel, and accidentally honking it repeatedly in his quest to press his entire body weight into her. She laughs uncontrollably, buries her shaking fingers in his soft fur, and cries all of the adrenaline out of her system. Afterwards, she desperately wants to sleep, so she downs the entire can of energy drink before starting her car again. Everything is dark now. The sun is so dim she may as well be driving by moonlight. When it disappears, she can't tell if it's set or just gone. She flicks on her high beams and doesn't slow. The ashfall begins hours before it's due. She clears the useless timer on her watch, despairing. The bookmark in her road atlas demands, "Where will you be?" And she's still 3 hours from home. Miles to go before she can sleep. She shuts the windows. Visibility drops from bad to terrible, so she runs the wipers constantly to keep the windscreen clear. An hour later, Yowie begins sneezing, and she notices the fine grit of ash swirling in through the vents. She immediately slams them all shut. Half an hour after that, the once reliable rumble of the engine picks up an ominous wet cough. Things get better as she winds her way across the Great Dividing Range. It's slower serpentining through the mountains, but tree cover offers shelter from ashfall, so she makes it another hour before her car dies. It happens with little fanfare. The wet coughing gets worse until her car simply stops. The headlights fade, darkness falls, the wipers still, ash begins burying them. The final leg of her journey stretches endlessly ahead. There was half an hour left to drive, maybe 20 or 30k. Between her cane and Yowie, she can walk an average of 2 kilometers an hour, assuming she isn't exhausted and trekking through pitch dark and sodden ash. She may as well walk to the moon. Reaching down, she pulls the lever to flatten her seat, crawls into the back, and falls instantly asleep, unaware of Yowie settling in beside her. I'm going to finish it. I've got about half a page to go. Unknowable time passes before she wakes up to the cool damp of Yowie's tongue on her cheek, the steady thump of his tail against her hip. At least another full day of walking, probably 2. She's survived worse. She undoes the internal hatch through the boot and starts dragging supplies into the back seat. First, she eats and drinks all she can, and then makes sure Yowie does the same. Then she packs 2 days of rations into a backpack. It's already very heavy. She can't take much else, so she abandons it all. She tears some clothes into improvised masks to keep them from inhaling the ash and pulls her backpack on. She fastens Yowie into his harness, pushes the door open, and together they climb out. With one hand on her cane, the other holding the shotgun, and Yowie beside her, she throws a final glance back and realizes she's forgotten something. Returning to the front seat, she unwraps the green whistle from the mirror and ties her lucky charm to the handle of her cane. Then she walks out into the ash and dark of Phoenix country.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Something new which starting at Busybird is Busybird's Voices from the Nest, the podcast about publishing, writing, editing, illustrating, all things to do with publishing. There's a couple of episodes already out. The first one interviews Kev. Second one interviews me. I was a filler for someone who actually had to pull out at last minute. And there's a few other ones that are going to go up over the next course of the month. But if you would like to appear on Voices of the Nest, please feel free to talk to Kev at the end of the night and ask him about bookings and that sort of thing. The next person I'd like to introduce was an intern here, and she is now one of our editors and an illustrator. Her name is Carly Mikkel. Is that right, Mikkel? No? Everyone please welcome Carly. So in goes.
Hi there everyone. So this month I didn't really know what to do. So I'm sort of in between writing things and drawing things, and I didn't really have anything I wanted to show, but I definitely wanted to come up. So I sort of dug through everything and I found a bunch of old sketchbooks and some that are really, really old back in high school that are very embarrassing, but I'm willing to embarrass myself if it means to show you guys something. So I think I might pass some around. So these ones are circa 2018, 2019. Yeah, I'll pass them around. So they're unfinished because I have a habit of buying new ones and then starting new ones and then never finishing them and then buying a new one and then starting new ones. So it's just bad habit. Do you want me to pop that over there? Yeah, all good. Yeah, so you'll find a lot of blank spots. That's because I just gave up. Yeah, so those ones I did a lot of sort of football drawings, faces, all that. I was just sort of developing my skills. Then I found this one. This one is from my first year of uni in La Trobe. It's a bit of everything. So we were tasked to take a journal and just fill it up with activities and bits and bobs. So I got a couple sketches, but I also have some writing, and I'll be honest, it's a little bit sad, some things over here, because I was gone through it in 2018. So if you see some sad, depressing thoughts, sorry. So I'll give that one. This one's the most embarrassing one, so I'll leave it to last. This one is my high school yearbook when I was in year 12, and I've only brought it for one thing that I did in year 12. This is like an example of a digital drawing that I've done, if I can find it. So it is top left right here, and I'll pass that one around as well if he wants to grab that one. I'm so sorry. This is very, I didn't plan this at all. This one's probably the biggest one, so I can probably show you from here. These ones are also very, very embarrassing. I'm trying to find one that's... Okay. So just in general, I think I struggled with proportion in faces, so I had the lips down here, and that made them look very sad. And sometimes my eyes were a little bit pointy, or my arms are a bit stiff, so they just don't look quite right. Is there anything else? I'm trying to find... Yeah, these were characters of a novel I was writing when I was 18 years old, and I don't want to ever read that novel ever again because it was terrible. Anything else? This was for a high school assignment where I was coming up with a children's cartoon. Yeah, so I just decided to get some Australian animals, and yeah, but I'll hand that around. Thank you, Liz. Okay, so this one is the most embarrassing one that I could ever think of, and I don't want to show this, but I'm trying to find something that's not as embarrassing. Oh my god. So just in general, I was really bad at drawing waists and hands and arms, so that hands and the arms look very, very small compared to the body, and the face looks very, very big. And I hope that I've gotten better, but I can see this very pointy chin. She could cut through glass in that. Just, ugh. No, not good. Absolutely not good. Do I have anything else? I'm so sorry. Yeah, another example of a very pointy chin. Wasn't very good at chins. Yeah, no worries. I think I'll leave that there if you guys want to keep looking through it as we continue on. But thank you.
Anything nice in you?
I do.
See whether you have improved?
Yeah, I do. It's on my phone. So if anyone wants to come up and see my most recent drawing, you're welcome afterwards. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was very, very, I don't know, quick and blasé. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Carly. Carly actually just illustrated the children's book for us at Busybird. There's a couple of books on that shelf, on the back shelf there, about a horse, or two about horses, and there's a third one in the series, which Carly has illustrated. So that's coming out in the next few weeks. But Carly, so thank you for the illustration. So Carly always likes to downplay her talent, and she's very, very talented. I actually drew a friend once and got his jaw wrong. It was all too low, but I remedied it really quickly by punching him in the face. Next, what I was going to say is, really important thing for us here at Busybird is leaving a legacy behind, telling your story in whatever form that takes, whether it's poetry, prose, non-fiction, or whatever the case is. Even Oscar, who is down here hiding in the limelight, has his own book of Oscarisms, and there's gorgeous pictures of Oscar as well as little captions of his wisdom. Anybody shout a page number from about 1 to 90? 21 I got. Oh, geez, Kate. Nurture the next generation with your wisdom and sensitivity. And that's actually Kate's son.
He's right here. You want to
Who's
stand
right
up?
here.
Kate.
Yeah. So that's almost rigged.
Thank you for the big page number.
That was Carly. Was it Carly? I don't know. I'm just blaming everything on you. And that's actually right. It only goes up to 84. Next, I would like to call up Sharon Lee, and she has a couple of question marks next to her stuff. So everyone please welcome Sharon Lee.
Just not sure what I will do. Okay, I'll do this.
I've just, I live at number 2 Station Road, and I think you're in Silver Corolla. Is this part of my driveway? I can't get into the driveway. Okay, sorry. Sorry to interrupt. Thank you.
So I thought I'd do this song. I was introduced to this song a very long time ago. The artist is Dory Previn. She was married to Andre Previn. Andre Previn had an affair with a lemon-haired lady called Mia Farrow, a famous Hollywood actress who was married to Woody Allen, the pedophile, Boo Boo. And anyway, I think because of the above, she didn't particularly like the Hollywood elites too well, and so she wrote this song about her disdain for them and the disillusion and the delusion of the Hollywood concept. So this is her little sad ditty. You know the Hollywood sign that stands in the Hollywood hills. I don't think the Christ of the Andes ever blessed so many ills. The Hollywood sign seems to smile like it's constantly saying cheese. I doubt if the Statue of Liberty ever welcomed more refugees. Give me your poor, your tired, your pimps, your car hops, your cowboys, your midgets, your chimps. Give me your freaks, your whores and your harlots, your flunkies, your junkies, sorry. Give me your starlets. Mary Cecilia Brown rode to town on a Malibu bus. She climbed to the top of the Hollywood sign, and with the smallest possible fuss, she jumped off the letter H because she did not become a star. She died in less than a minute and a half. She looked a bit like Hedy Lamarr. Sometimes I have this dream, when the time comes for me to go, I will climb that hill and I'll hang myself from on the second or third letter O, where Mary Cecilia jumped, she finally made the grade. Her name was in the obituary columns in both of the daily trades. I hope the Hollywood sign cries for the town it touches. The Lady of Lourdes in her grotto saw fewer cripples and crutches. Give me your poor, you're maladjusted, you're sick and you're beaten, you're sad and you're busted. Give me your has-beens, give me your twisted, your loners, your losers. Give me your blacklisted. You know the Hollywood sign, the witness to our confusion. A symbol of dreams turns out to be a sign of disillusion. Thank you.
Thanks, that was great. Is it just Sharon or is it Sharon Lee? Is it like a joint name?
All of it. Yeah.
All of it. So it is Sharon Lee altogether? All right, cool. Our next person we call up is Steve Zagata, who's the author of Hope Dreams, recently published. I'm still waiting for the book launch, the official book launch. When's that happening?
Name a date. We'll do it.
Name a date. February 14th, 1962.
You do that?
So we're still waiting for the launch of that. Steve's also an actor, a playwright, and a stand-up comedian, and he's going to come up and do some stand-up on Dodgy Science. Everyone please welcome Steve.
Before I start, I thought I'd do a bit of a community service announcement and talk about, get a bit political about something that should never have been politicised. And I guess before we meet here again in October, we will have to vote in a referendum. And there's been a lot of debate about the, like I said, it's been overly politicised. And for the benefit of you all here and for YouTube and the Facebook people watching, yeah, just want to clear up a couple of things. And firstly, I'm encouraging you to vote yes. Secondly, if you look at the No campaign, there's a couple of aspects to it. One is, well, everything's okay the way it is. We don't need to change it. Well, really, it's not okay. If you look at the statistics for Indigenous people and you look at that, we just don't acknowledge at all that there was 40 or 50,000 years of history before Europeans came to this country. The second argument is that if you don't know, vote no. And they keep saying, oh, we don't know what it is, so you shouldn't vote for it. And you should be wary of it because we don't know what it is. And what they're really saying there is, but yet the thing is that they don't come up with any solid arguments as to why it's not the right thing to do. So what they're really saying is the only thing to fear is fear itself, which isn't an argument. So really, I think we've got to be on our game and push this through, because if it doesn't get through, it's really, it doesn't, it's really a smite on our society. So thanks for that. So that was my rant. So talking about dodgy song lyrics. Now we all talk about political correctness and all that, and people make a big deal of it. But yeah, there are some songs that really haven't stood the test of time. And if you look at them in the current understanding, you'd think, yeah, that's sort of not quite right. The first one I came across is Rod Stewart, Tonight's the Night. Everyone loves Rod Stewart. And of course, yeah, The song starts, come on angel, my heart's on fire. Don't deny your man's desire. You'll be a fool to stop this tide. Spread your wings and let me come inside. Which is probably not so bad when he wrote it in his 20s, because it goes on to say, don't say a word, my virgin child, just let your inhibitions run wild. Which would have been okay when he's in his 20s, you think, yes, in the early days, but when he's in his 70s, you think, well, should he still be singing this song? The next one I came across is an innocuous one, which is In the Summertime, which is a lovely song. So in the summertime, when the weather is high, you could stretch right up and touch the sky. When the weather's fine, you got women on your mind. Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find. So far, so good. If her daddy's rich, take her out for a meal. If her daddy's poor, just do what you feel. So, yeah, parents and grandparents, you're going to have some explaining to do. That's why these things might be funny. But again, yeah, you wonder what they were thinking at the time. And then we'll get on to good old Tom Jones and Delilah, which Delilah I always thought was just a song about the biblical story of Samson and Delilah. But it's not really. Because when the verse goes, I've got to get the tune right. At the break of day, when that man drove away, I was waiting. I crossed the street to her house and she opened the door. She stood there laughing. I felt the knife in my hand and she laughed no more. So a bit dark, really. And yeah, he still gets away with it. The last one, which is the one that prompted me to do this bit, was the Neil Diamond song, which everyone loves Neil Diamond. And the song is Girl. So girl, you'll be a woman soon. Please come take my hand. Girl, you'll be a woman soon. Soon you'll need a man. So again, for a 20-something-year-old, maybe not so bad, but for someone in their 70s, maybe not quite right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Our next person has just released her first novel. It is your first, isn't it? So, what's your background? You're a doctor? Because I have an ache. Oh, sorry. And also, that's what prompted you to write the story called The Bones. So everyone please welcome Katrina Watson. And she does have some props, which I'm going to bring up on stage. Everyone please welcome Katrina.
And I need one assistant from the front row. When must be an assistant?
Want to be an assistant?
I need an assistant. No. Would you like to be my assistant? Thank you. Great. So all I want you to do is put right there. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you can open this up.
For the crowd to see?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, he doesn't know it's inside, do you?
I'm in there. So
Oh.
just
So there's a catch in the front. Huh? Yeah, that's great. And I'll read.
Wait, so I'm sorry, what do you want?
Just open it up. So that'd be great.
Okay, I think
Okay, thank you. She undid the catch. The hinges creaked. It's a creaking? Oh. She could smell timber shavings. Shelley pulled the lid right open. I don't know if it, would you like to show the ball?
don't shake the pieces out on board.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
There were the bones, looking like they were a gift box, shredded straw and all. The skull was nestled in the middle, like the big egg in one of those expensive Easter egg sets, with the other bones peeping around the edges. There were a good number of teeth. Did you show them the teeth?
I wasn't sure how it worked.
Large and white. Someone must have brushed the teeth, scoured them, enhanced that expression of extreme mirth or agony. That's excellent. Great job. The eye sockets were huge cavities.
Someone had scooped out those eyes. Someone had used an electric saw to take the top off that skull. A perfect circle. You can demonstrate. Yeah, beautiful demonstration. That's great, thank you. What's your name? No, great job. I think Noel's going to be a surgeon one day. There would have been a cloud of sawdust and splinters of red bone flinging off everywhere. And there would have been a smell, worse than the meat section at the market. Someone would have grubbed out the brain, they'd have cut the spinal cord and tried to lift it out in one flopping mess. The brain wouldn't have been firm from being in formalin. No, it would have been mushy and disintegrating. Excellent. Do you think it's the left side or the right side? What do you think about? She started to take the bones out and arrange them on her bed. She felt like wearing gloves, but didn't have any. No one used gloves to handle bones. What a wuss she'd be. Nurses might wear gloves, but not med students. That'll do it. So these are the bones that my novel's based on. And when you get a box of bones, as a med student, you get either left or right, plus the skull. And I think pretty sure I had the right. I should know this. I think I had the left side. There's the femur. So, yeah, left side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was genuinely not expecting that.
I hope you don't have nightmares.
Thank you.
They're fake. They're not fake.
I would hope so.
My book's about where the bones come from. They're real bones.
Katrina, can I explain how that actually operated previously? That people actually got real bones?
Yeah, so when I was a med student, which was a long time ago, when I was a doctor,
Hang on, let me get the mic closer.
everyone had to have a box of bones. It was compulsory, but you weren't allowed to ask where they came from. Nobody asked, nobody cared. And in my novel, thank you very much, Noah. We'll give Noah a round of applause. So in my novel, there's she finds a little coded card in the box, and it takes her to India, and that's in fact where all the bones used to come from. It was a bone trade. It was terrible. It was exploitative and oppression of the poor and colonialistic and everything. It was sort of like we med students just thought we had the right to have these bones from India, and they're acquired in different ways, horrible ways. You have to read the book.
Fascinating, like, yeah.
Yeah, I
Very
thought so.
interesting. Did you know that? Yes, you didn't know that. I didn't know that.
They stopped the bone trade now, pretty well.
So they fake bones or real bones?
No, they're real, but they're my bones.
They're your bones.
Not my bones, but
Not your bones. Like, are
but when I
they,
was a med student, yeah,
so they're actual human bones.
they're actual human
You
bones.
just touched human bones very much.
And now you're eating biscuits. You're touching biscuits now.
You're like to go wash your hands. Med students never did wash their hands.
That is so cool. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Would you like to go home and touch? No!
Everyone, please thank Katrina and Noah. Well, you'd think that the parent of the bones would be happy that they got a job, even after death. Back in, I don't know, when I started doing public talks and stuff like that, which was about 2007, I used to be petrified, I used to hyperventilate, I used to get the heart thumping, and I never showed it because I'm so cool. And then eventually along the journey of having to do these things, I just learned, you know what, no one actually wants to see you fail. And if you fail and someone laughed, then they're a prick. And the reality is that whether I'm talking to a group of people, whether I'm talking to one person or I'm talking to myself, it is the same act. It's just talking. It's the pressure I put on myself which actually creates that expectation of like, what if something goes wrong? So, Busybird have always wanted to create this warm, nurturing, welcoming environment. You have a lot of supportive people here. So I'm actually going to call up a first-time reader, one of our interns. Everyone please welcome Maggie, who is going to read from a creative non-fiction piece. Would you like the bones? The bones.
Hello. Oh, God.
So I wrote this for my creative non-fiction unit at uni. I actually haven't read this out loud, so if there's any mistakes, sorry. Did get a high mark on it, so I'm hoping it's good. Okay, hoping it's also in order, so we'll give it a go. I'm a university student studying psychology, working a minimum wage hospitality job. I want to find something that could solidify the information I'm learning, and I can tell you now, flipping burgers and their DSM-5 did not really relate. I'll go out searching for jobs, hoping to get something such as a receptionist psychologist's office. Whilst I'm researching, disability support worker was a common job linked to gaining experience in the psychology field. I find a job on Seek, apply, and assumed having no experience I would not hear back, but I'm wrong. I gain employment and fall in love so much so that I drop out of psychology and begin my certificate 4 in disability. The participants I work with give me more joy than I could ever imagine. I recently read a book, Love and Autism, by Kay Kerr. Kay talked about the common misconception that individuals with autism don't have empathy, and how, if anything, they're the most empathetic people. They just have trouble showing it in the way that is deemed a social norm. This was a misconception I'd heard before working in the field, but it makes me think of a memory. I'm with one of my usual participants, and I've had a crap morning. I'm talking, waking up late, couldn't have a shower, scoffed my breakfast, and it is a cold morning, and I hate the cold weather. I walk in, wait for my participant whilst I'm sitting down with them, explaining what we're doing. I let them know that I've had a crap morning, and I might be a little less patient than usual, but I will try my hardest to be there for them. It's in this moment my participant looks at me, and I really mean looked at me. Some people might say they're just staring, but I know my participant. We've been a regular in each other's lives for 3 years, and there is something in that moment that tells me they understand. It is time like this when I think, how could I have ever lost my passion and spark for this kind of work? But it's something I'll come to a bit later. I sit on the couch. In the background, I can hear the reporter talking about the bat disease going around Wuhan. I go to work the next day. Everyone is talking about it. I talk to my parents, one in country Victoria and the other in Mongolia, for work. It won't affect us, it's in China. The famous last words I hear from people that week. Within weeks, Dad is scrambling to get home. Every airport he lands in, his flight gets cancelled, country after country locking down. I was lucky Dad was able to finally, after travelling around the world, get home. Lockdowns start and there's so many anxieties that come with it. Will I be safe? Will I still have a job? Will I have enough money to pay bills and rent? Will I accidentally spread this to my participants who are extremely vulnerable? When I'm talking to friends about what is happening, I ask what is the hardest part about being a support worker during the pandemic for them. We all agree that job security is extremely unknown, and the idea of passing on this unknown disease to an extremely vulnerable group and it potentially resulting in death is terrifying. When I'm talking about friends about how mentally draining it is to be a support worker during the pandemic, someone brought up a good point, that the most draining part was the added pressure we put on ourselves. They often ask themselves at the end of the day, was there any more I could have done to make a safe environment for the people I was supporting? In a way, I guess it shows how dedicated we are, but it really is exhausting, praying every night that you made in safe environment and no one would get the virus. I read an article talking about the anxiety of healthcare workers. Someone stated that it felt like you were running away from your participants or patients, and I have to agree it does feel like that, especially when we have to shut down and the time frame is so unknown. How do you explain to someone who's constantly failed by the system and sometimes their own family that the one person who understands you they will not be able to see for who knows how long? If you imagine all these stresses, I think you can understand why I am, along with many others, so burnt out and need a break from the field when we open back up. I also reflect on society's views and attitudes as well as my own. In the beginning, it became clear that society, as my friend mentioned, didn't care about the vulnerable because they didn't contribute much. I'll just keep finishing this little bit. This attitude is shown in the refusal of wearing masks because they're annoying. Well, my question to those people is this. Is not wearing a mask for a few hours a day because it was annoying worth the life of a son, a daughter, a brother or sister or parent? Of course, I can sit here and say I'm perfect because I also think many people try so hard to think about everyone else, become tired, and so begins the battle of choosing between following the rules and watching your mental health deteriorate, or breaking the rules and meeting with a friend who maybe is 10 kilometres away instead of 5.
Thank you, Maggie. I've been nagging Maggie for months to read. So how was that, Maggie? Liberating?
I don't know if it's liberating. I might do it again.
Yeah, you'll do it next time. And Noah, I know you're worried about the bones. Don't worry, they're sterilised. They're totally clean. So you don't have to stress. Okay? I did drop the biscuits in the toilet water when I opened the packet. That's an issue. But the bones...
The kid's never going to come back.
Of course, I'm kidding about that too.
You can write about it and you can have a response to leave
Yeah.
back next time.
Oscar drinks the toilet water.
Oh, no, he doesn't drink toilet water, he eats poo. But, it's not a joke. Another first time reader, singer, Oscar. Yep, everyone's looking at this one. That Oscar. So everyone please welcome Oscar. He's got a song, My Mind That Wanders. Shot school.
I'm using the house guitar, which I thought was a ploy to, in case I stuff up, I can blame it on the guitar. But apparently it's cursed, and that's my own fault. Staring out the window, looking out for people, and my mind
Thanks, Oscar. How long have you been performing?
Probably the first time in a group of people.
Really? No, you're great. You're fantastic. So thank you for that. So later on, when you go home, your partner's going to tell you were great, and you'll probably have that doubt because a lot of artists doubt, you know, when you get praise, but you were great. So thank you. I've only got a couple more readers. Is there anyone that's not on the list? Shannon? No, so you're shaking your head? Okay. All right. Next, I'd like to call up another Busy Bird author. Sorry, I meant to bring your books up, but I was listening to music. Liz Ash. Elizabeth Long, sorry, not Liz Ash. Sorry. No, I was just thinking, you know it's not Ash. We had another author, Liz Ash, years ago.
I know what you're saying. I know you're having a shop, cheap shopping.
No, we did have an author. No, we have an author, Liz Ash. Elizabeth Long, who's written The Taroona Incident and The Body in the Lane.
That's it.
And what are you reading for us today or performing?
Oh, it's about a play I was in. It's something that happened.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Go for it.
Hi, everyone. So it's self-explanatory, so I won't give you any preamble. Okay. Goodness, that's close, isn't it? I auditioned and was cast in a play called Cozzy, written by Louis Nara. He's an Australian. The title was shortened from Cozzy fan tutti, and it means so do they all. A comic opera written by Mozart. The time is set in 1971, and the play was to be staged in a mental institution. It was loosely based on Louis Nara's experience with both of his grandmothers, who were institutionalised. On his mother's side, one suffered from a form of senility. On his father's side, Nara said his grandmother chose madness as a way of dealing with the fact her 70-year-old husband had run off with a 30-year-old barmaid. Nara himself directed a play with the patients and was proud of the outcome. Some people accused him of mocking the patients, but on the contrary, he said it brought them out of themselves, and he lost any notion of me and them. The play Cozzy is loosely based on, amongst other things, that experience, and that's the play. Cast included Lewis, a university graduate, who comes to the asylum with a project. That is a play the patients could perform. The patients had various forms of mental illness, from pyromania, personality disorder, drug dependency. Some came and went from the institution. Others had been there for years. My role, Ruth, had an obsessive personality. How true. Roy, formerly a lawyer who was a patient obsessed with staging Cozzy fan tutti, was played by my fellow thespian Tim Sherwood, an actor who had been with the theatre company for some time. He was energised on stage, very skilled and talented, with excellent stagecraft and a perfectly clear English-speaking voice. Of course, he was English. He could also do accents. He played many roles, including Charlotte from Merchant of Venice. He also did comedy and participated in the fundraising follies held once a year at the theatre company. Sometimes during a break in rehearsal, we would go outside and lament the number of lines we still had to learn. We supported each other. I was honoured and in awe to be playing next to him. He has since died, but I'll always remember him. The play attracted full houses every night and was a great success. At first, audiences didn't know whether they should laugh or not, but as the play progressed, they began to understand it was okay to do so. There were some dark passages, but overall, it was a comedic piece and the laughter was unanimous. We had a mutual friend who owned a ski resort at Falls Creek and who opened the season with an event, usually a jazz band or similar. Another acquaintance suggested our play. It was agreed, and the owner was very graciously offered free accommodation and meals for all of us. It was really fantastic. And it was decided we needed to raise some funds first, so the idea was to perform the play in the large space on the second story of the Warrandyte pub. We were all gathered and mingling in the space, waiting for our one cast member to arrive. The phone rang. The director took the call. Then we were told our much treasured and young cast member, Christy Lawrence, and her boyfriend, Luke Mail, had been killed by a freak accident. A tree went through the windscreen as they were travelling to the Melbourne Highway from a camping trip. They were 21 years old. Christy was a beautiful young woman with an equally beautiful voice. Mark was studying to become a chef. For a long time there was disbelief and silence in the room. 2 weeks later their combined funeral was held. Over 1,000 people walked with the funeral cars along the main road of Warrandyte to the burial site. After consultation with family, it was decided to go ahead with the play. The parents insisted on it. So we did it first at Falls Creek, down at the pub. The final performance would help raise money for the Christy Lawrence and Luke Mayhill Memorial Fund, which had been established. That performance at the pub was the best we had ever done. No mistakes, timing perfect, stagecraft just right. Christy would be proud.
Thank you, Liz. And here is her first book, The Taroona Incident. And the new one, A Body in the Lane, as I asked Steve, when's the launch? Who said that? That's a good idea to someone else. I know it's a good idea to both them. And there's the Liz Asher I was talking about. Sorry, the name just transposed into my head, so it wasn't a shot. There's only two more people left, Paul and Ken. So Ken, I'm going to call you up after Paul, so you've got time to prepare. So I've left no one out. Does anyone have an announcement they would like to make in relation to anything they're doing, anything creative, any upcoming events, parole hearings? Right, cool. So everyone please welcome Paul South, who is going to read some poems. Paul.
I wasn't sure what to read when. They kind of don't go together. I've got funny ones and really, really sad ones. So it's hard to sort of to something or other it. That's my poetry term for I'm very eloquent tonight. Okay. This one was a mental health trip that I went on years ago. Interesting bunch of people, but that's another story. So I called it Falls Creek. When they first put me on skis, I fell over. So they bound my feet tighter, adjusted a few straps and clipped me back in. I fell over again. Now they've faced me uphill in the grooves of the other skiers. I watch our group struggling ahead like frogs that have learned to walk upright. I inch forward. When I fall again, I don't try to get up. The new worker says, "Paul, why aren't you getting up? You've got to get up. The rest are getting too far ahead. Paul," he radios through, "something's wrong with Paul. He won't talk to me." So I'm going to do the funny ones and then I can get really depressing. I don't know if this one's funny or not. I just like it. It's called Yesterday's Forecast. There's been a chance of weather all day. There was a 35% chance of a tree falling on a power line as I supped my miso soup. There was a jagged chance of lightning at 4 p.m. as I slept with the cat, sheets silently illuminated through the blinds. There was a 90% chance of landslides, but maybe that was just in my head. I waited for it all day without knowing. Late in the afternoon as I hung out the washing, I smelt the air for some kind of change. Okay. All right. The first one is when I was diagnosed bipolar 2. It's a bit different to bipolar 1, but anyway. It's called What Is Wrong With Me? I'm completely helpless. I can't even turn off the light and open the blinds. I just lie here trembling at the vibration of the works down on the corner. My mood has collapsed, and once again, I don't understand. It was a good day. I woke late and in my time drifted down to Hurst Bridge. I had coffee and cake, fed the chooks some oats. The rain even stopped. And the call finally came. I found somewhere else, another place to live. I used to feel at home sleeping on the desert floor. alone beneath the stars. At sunrise I'd shake down the dust. It was nothing. Now my arms and legs ache. I don't have the energy to cry, and it's turned sunny now and blue. And here am I, hiding in my childhood room from my mum's questions and my father's eyes. This one I wrote a few days ago, and I'm pretty happy with it. It still needs a proper ending, but hey. It's called Gemma. I still love you, the way you dab at your nose with toilet tissue, the way you carry a bog roll in your bag. It's sunny and blue, and so I think of you, lounging about, reading books on procrastination, the mouldy dishes teetering on the brink, the way you sleep with the light on, and your girly scream because of a hairy spider. The little things tore me up when you were gone. I was torn up. I was put back together again every time we talked on the phone about little things. I love your beautiful mess at home. I am home to your disaster, free now to see the whole of you from a little distance. I know you've found someone else to love, and that is okay. It's a great thing. But I want you to know that I'll always love you. Love doesn't just happen to me, but now you remain first and last, and I'm glad about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. You have a couple of collections out also, don't you, Paul?
I've got one, but I don't have it with me. I've got another coming out.
Oh, cool. So when's the next one coming out?
God knows when. I have to ask the guy again.
Ah, so it's the publisher just being unsure. Okay, cool. And God, apparently. Last reader, Ken, poem and song. So everyone please welcome Ken.
That's good. Yeah. You did. The poem's called Marriage Therapy. There's something wrong, the psychologist said. It's plain to see, but I couldn't make it out. It's deep-seated, she opined. Will take years to remedy, but she could never quite define it. Language warning. Fucked up NOS is not a diagnostic category, but she persevered just the same. My pathology and her vindication would be undeniable if she could just erode my defences. Her questions grew oblique, dishonest, incessant, a tap dripping in the night. Therapy stuttered and stumbled, lurching this way and that, but her heart was no longer in it. And so she moved out. "25 years and my life is still trying to get up this great big hill of hope for a destination. Realized quickly when I knew I should, the world's made up of this brotherhood of man, whatever that means. And I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out, what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. Yeah, I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I shout at the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I cried, hey, 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 hey. I cried, hey, what's going on? And I tried, oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution. and I pray. Oh my God, do I pray? Pray every single day for revolution. Yeah, I cry sometimes and I find it vain. All that what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little bigger. Yeah, I wake in the morning, I step outside, I take a deep breath and I get real high, and I shout at the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I cried, hey, 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 yeah. I cried, hey, what's going on? Yeah, I cried, hey, hey, I cried, hey, what's going on? 25 years, my life is still trying to get up this great big hill of hope for a destination.
Thank you, Ken. Great way to end the performances. So you've all got raffle tickets, which I actually forgot to bring. Charge them up. And while Bo is, or Kev's conveying them, don't forget our podcast, Busy Birds Voices from the Nets. So you can find that on Spotify, Google, Apple, Amazon, all places that good podcasts are hosted. If you would like to appear on Voices on the Nest, ask Kev, because he's the boss. It is hosted by Sky, who is one of our interns and very knowledgeable. Also, one of the things that keeps popping up recently is sort of people go, you should be doing more retreats and you should be doing more networking nights and stuff like that. So obviously after Blaze passed away, all that fell away, not a lot of it, all of it fell away. And now that we've started to recalibrate, feel free to come to us and say, this is what we'd like to see Busybird doing. Because Kevin and I are just feeling our way through this also, so we're not as sure without some of people giving them some ideas for orientation. A little bit of a trivial one, just be careful of your glasses when you get up to leave, and make sure you don't break any because you have a dog who's running around barefoot. Oh, you got a kid running around barefoot too. So, but just be careful of the glasses. So, and also, don't feel you have to leave straight away. So we do have a raffle. You would have gotten a raffle ticket when you came in and bought your tickets. And the prize is it the 2 novellas, Kev? Yep. It's the 2 novellas. So these were winners of the 2015 and I think the 2016 novella prize that Busybird ran. So everyone please take your tickets out. Everyone have their tickets out? Does anyone not have their tickets out? So there it is. Orange C 61. Is there a 61? No one's left? There's no one? No one's just...
We've got a 62, if that'll work.
Missed it by that much. Just trying to remember who came in after you, Rhiannon. C 65.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, Paul. There'll be a poem about this next month. There you go. Both.
Oh, both.
Yep. So thanks, Paul. So next open mic night is 18th of October, sorry. And then the final one for the year is our Christmas breakup party, which will be on 15th of November. There'll be some sort of theme relating to that, about how to dress up. We haven't decided how we're going to do that, what it is. Kevin will usually decide probably about, 12 minutes before it starts.
Anyone got any ideas? I mean, we've done things like come as your favourite author, come as a colour, come as wings and feathers.
Come as Collingwood supporters.
So you need something that's going to mix it up. I mean, we had one where it was come as your favourite author, everyone just came dressed as me.
Come as Les.
You come as me. That's what we all want to see. We want to see more Les. All the interns are shuddering going, no. No.
No more Les. So if you have any ideas, let me know. But
Yep.
something a bit of fun that's easy to do.
Maybe we'll do a Facebook post asking for suggestions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Noah made a suggestion we all need to come as criminals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, famous
Famous criminals.
But yeah, famous criminals from different books and stuff, like I don't know, President Snow from the Hunger Games or something like that.
Or real ones.
Yeah.
Villains.
Could be doable. So we'll throw it out there, we'll see.
What? Like a famous villain from a book.
Oh, famous villain from a book.
Oh no, there you go. You have to come to the party.
You know the host?
And no Harry Potter.
No, yeah, I mean, I would have to shake my head and.
Oh, you know Voldemort.
Anyway, that's it for us for tonight. Don't feel you have to leave straight away. There's still drinks and refreshments down there. There's the twisties that didn't fall down the toilet water. The cookies. Oh, you ate them all? Yeah, we'll be calling paramedics in about half an hour for Noah. But everyone, don't feel you have to leave, so feel free to hang around and have a little bit of a chat. Oh, there you go. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. Alright, so thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
atmosphere, isn't it? Things are meant to happen.